Tension as Taskforce kills 1, injures 2 in Jos South. Reactions trail presidency's response to New York Times feature. Youth storm local government secretariats across River State, protest tenure extension for chairman. And on the foreign scene, Muslim pilgrims resumed symbolic stoning as they wrap up this year's Hajj pilgrimage. Many thanks for joining us on the news hour. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Plateau State, where palpable tension gripped Bukur town in Jos South local government area of the state after one person was reportedly shot dead and 2 others injured by a combined task force comprising the Civil Defense Corps, the police and Operation Rainbow in the state. The incident occurred during enforcement of a law prohibiting roadside trading. According to reports, youths responded by blocking roads and setting ablaze tires, alarming residents of Bukur town. Now, Bello Muhammad, the youth leader of Bukur community, confirmed the killing while stating that the incident began at around 2 p.m. and it resulted in the burning of over 5 vehicles by irate youths in the area. Musa Ali, the deceased father, also confirmed the incident while asserting that his 30-year-old son, who ran a cell phone business in the area, was not engaged in trading on the road when he was shot dead by security operatives. Now, as at the time of filing the report, DSP Alabu Alfred, the spokesperson of the State Police Command in Jos, or in Plateau State, has not responded to inquiries.
Gaye kana ina Bukur akwai kwari kai kallo Bukur ta lalace gaye ka zo kai kallo ka zo.
Let's speak to Ado Musana, our correspondent in Plateau State, to learn more about this particular development. Ado, good evening. Compliments of the season. What more can you tell us about how this development started? And if you can, take us through the sequence of the developments today.
Well, at the moment, normalcy has been restored because operatives of Operation Safe Haven have been deployed to the affected community to restore law and order. Only that people are very careful of their movement because of the fact that, Plateau State, particularly Jos South and Jos North, most of the communities are divided into or along religious lines. So people are very careful of their movement. People only move to areas where they feel that they are safe, because a lot of people have started looking at the whole thing along religious line. So at the moment, we can see that normalcy has been restored and security agencies have been deployed to ensure law and order.
Tell us more about this prohibition of roadside trading and why the task force was using, live ammunition to disperse people or to disrupt their business.
Some 2 months ago, the Jos Metropolitan Development Association, they have issued a notice informing the members of public with regard to the law prohibiting roadside trading. So at the moment, or rather since last week, the JMDB have started the enforcement of this order. According to some officials of this board, that they have issued a notice since day before yesterday, informing the people, particularly the traders around that particular Congolese market in Bukuru, that any moment they will come to the area to enforce the law. But unfortunately, when they came yesterday, because I learned a lot of people from the area confirmed to me that the trouble started yesterday when the task force arrived the area, and then unfortunately they were not able to enforce the law yesterday because of the problem that ensured between some of the traders and security personnel.
So there was resistance. There was resistance, physical altercation. Right.
Yes, there was resistance yesterday.
Right.
According to some community leaders, it took the intervention of some community leaders and even youth leaders to intervene before the security operatives left. So today, the task force now returned to the area to ensure that that law was enforced.
Right.
Like when I spoke to the father of the deceased, he said that yes, his son was a trader, but he was not even in the market when the task force, or rather the security agencies, shot him because he was about to cross the road when he was shot down.
What is the police saying about this? Have they officially confirmed their involvement in this incident? And what do we know about an investigation as to what led to the killing of that one trader?
Yes, at the moment, the police is yet to issue any statement regarding the incident, because I called the spokesperson of the State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, with regard to the development. He is yet to respond to my inquiry. But the spokesperson of Operation Safe Haven, Major Samson Zakom, confirmed the incident, but he said he could not give the casualty figure of the incident. But the state government has just issued a statement condemning the incident. The governor also directed the security agencies in the state to ensure that normalcy is restored in the area.
Right. So can you confirm whether there is a curfew in effect, or is it just presence of security officers in Bukur town?
Yeah, well, at the moment, there is no any official statement with regard to whether or not there is a curfew in Bukur. But like I have said it earlier, virtually all residents of Bukur have returned to their houses because of the fear of the unknown. And then people are very watchful of their movement because people only move to areas where they feel they are safe. So this is the situation now in Bukur.
Ado Musa, thank you so much for the update. We'll keep tabs on that development. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Ado Musa there, our correspondent in Plateau State, giving us an update on the latest development, the security situation in Bukur following that operation by a special task force that led to the killing of one trader. We'll bring you more as soon as we learn more developments on that front. Now, the presidency on Sunday, in response to a damning report by the New York Times on the management of the Nigerian economy, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu inherited a dead economy, but was determined to resolve the nation's economic crisis. In this report, Noel Sampson speaks to an economist on the state of Nigeria's economy under the Tinubu administration. His report.
The future authored by Ruth Macklin and Ismail Awal highlights the severe economic challenges facing Nigeria. It notes that the soaring inflation and a plummeting national currency contribute to the economic crisis, leaving millions struggling to feed themselves. The article also examines the specific economic conditions inherited by President Bola Tinubu and the main economic challenges bedeviling the third largest economy on the African continent.
Well, I think it's President Tinubu and his handlers that is in best position to answer what they actually inherited. And best to respond to that is still them. So like they actually did responded, but the response wasn't as quite good as it should. They should have highlighted the things they are doing, functional and knowledge-based strategic implementation of plans than just being symbolic announcements that we witnessed in the last couple of months.
The economist also highlighted potential solutions to the current economic challenges.
We need the government to be decisive. We need the government to realize that the time and period of rhetoric has gone. The blame game have gone. They need to actually step up and double their efforts to make sure that these issues around cost of living, issues around scarcity of most of these food items.
Reacting to the development, some FCT residents highlight the impact of Nigeria's soaring inflation and the devaluation of Naira on their livelihood.
Though we are suffering, we Nigerians, based on the inflation, because now the price in food is rising every time, like it's rising like a bag of gari. Now we cannot even eat gari, we common people, because a bag of gari that was sold for 5K 9,000 now. It's being sold for 45,000 naira.
Also in foodstuffs, you understand? You transport those foodstuffs to the market. You understand? Now, someone who is transporting a bag of gari, let's say from the east down to Abuja here, and each bag they charge, let's say, 500 naira. Now they don't charge 500 naira. You understand? They charge 2,025.
Affected all Nigeria, not only me. Because if you go to market, if you see the way things are going, no one is happy. Go to buy something today, tomorrow go back, you discover that it has added almost 100% increments.
I used to go out and buy like food stuff in different parts of the country to come down here to come and sell. That's the business I do mostly. And based on that inflation, when you go to market, you see transport increase and everything. Even in the villages, those are selling in the village too. You know, they will tell you that based on their fertilizer and everything, things increase.
Nigerians are hopeful that the government will address the current economic situation before it gets out of hand. No, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Well, the presidency on Sunday declared that the 250,000 naira minimum wage demand by the organized labor is unsustainable, while emphasizing that the federal government cannot allocate all its resources to meet the demand of labor. This announcement follows the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria's Congress over the proposed 62,000 naira minimum wage, fearing it may strain the council's finances. Negotiations between the federal government and organized labor broke down on May 28th after the government and the organized labor, as well as private sector, increased their offer, or rather, the government and the organized private sector increased their offer to 62,000 naira, which labor outrightly rejected, quote, as inadequate. Now, Bayo Onanuga, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, stated that the resources of the government intended for the entire population cannot be directed solely to the benefit of organized labor and its members, who constitute less than 10% of the population. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced during his Democracy Day speech that an executive bill on the new national minimum wage would be sent to the National Assembly, likely after the Eid break. Onanuga noted that the federal government might not meet with labor leaders again unless significant developments occur. In other news, at least 6 persons were reportedly killed and scores injured following an attack on a farming community by suspected herdsmen. The attack occurred on Sunday while targeted Marabang, Azagwa and Alele villages of Maihula in the Bali local government area of Taraba State. A resident of the area on Monday said trouble started when a man who was allegedly drunk was found dead on his way home. He said the deceased relatives, who suspected that he was killed by some Tiv villagers, mobilized and started attacking as well as killing people in the area. The chairman, Taraba State Tiv Traditional Council, Zaki David Ba, who briefed journalists in Bali on the development, says 6 people were killed with 4 others in critical condition in hospital. He expressed confidence that the attackers would be arrested by security agencies and prosecuted, while adding that since all of them live in the community, they will be identified eventually. The police in Taraba State, through its spokesperson, DSP Gambo Kwache, who confirmed the attack in a telephone interview, however, said only 2 corpses were rather recovered by the police in the state. Now, a final year student of the Ondo State-owned Adekunle Ajasin University, Modukpe Ayandare, has allegedly committed suicide after attending a church vigil. Apologies if some of you may find the pictures disturbing. Well, according to reports, the lifeless body of Ms. Ayandare, a 500-year level student in the Department of Agronomy from the Faculty of Agriculture, was found dead on Monday morning. The deceased, whose body was found dangling on the back of a church in the off-campus hostel was dressed in white clothes, suggesting she might have attended an overnight vigil. A correspondent said Ayandare had left the hostel on Sunday for a church program but failed to return. She explained that it was surprising to see her corpse the following morning in a manner that suggests she committed suicide. Fumilayo Odunlami Omisonya, the spokesperson of the police in the state, also confirmed the development to newsmen. Gunmen have kidnapped an Anambra-based priest of the Catholic Church, Reverend Father Christian Ike. Now, Ike was said to have been taken away by assailants on Sunday along Amagu Junction, Nkwaleke in Ajali community of Orumba North local government area of Anambra State. The reason for the incident has yet to be ascertained, but eyewitnesses in the area say the priest was returning alongside two other persons from an early morning mass at St. Michael Catholic Church when the vehicle he was in was double-crossed by the assailants. The latest abduction will be the second incident in just 2 months, as another priest, Reverend Father Basil Bozo, was kidnapped near Onitsha on May 15 by gunmen. Bozo was later released some weeks later after some undisclosed amounts was paid as ransom. Confirming the incident, the Anambra State Police spokesperson SP Tochukwu Ikenga says the command has received a report on the incident and has deployed its personnel to kickstart a rescue operation. Still talking security, the police in Anambra State say they have arrested one 48-year-old Felix Owaya of Ika South local government area of Delta State and recovered 375 live cartridges. A statement by the police spokesperson in the state on Monday says Owaya was arrested at 1 p.m. on Saturday or 1:30 p.m. on Saturday by operatives attached to the Fege division while on patrol along Niger Street in Onitsha. Ikenga, the spokesperson of the police, says during interrogation the suspect confessed that he was sent to deliver the items by another person to collect the ammunition, while the statement added that the investigation is still ongoing. The Commissioner of Police in the state, while commending the efforts of the police officers who uncovered the suspect, directed all personnel in the command to sustain the tempo of crime prevention and detection across Anambra State. Away from security-related matters, youths in the 3 local government areas of Kalabari ethnic group have occupied the 3 council secretariats to demand the vacation of the council chairman from office. The local government areas of Degema, Asari Toru and Akuro Toru areas were affected. Amateur footage shows that some of the youths mobilized to block the entrance of the council complexes and requested traders within the premises to vacate. Meanwhile, a former Niger Delta agitator, Asari Dokubo, who is from the ethnic group, is advising elected chairman of the 23 local council areas in River State to quietly leave office by midnight on Monday as their 3-year tenure has expired. He said despite arguments from the chairman, they must leave office to avoid creating fundamental problems in River State. Asari Dokubo stressed the importance of adhering to the stipulated tenure limits in the local government law of 2018 to maintain law and order. Asari Dokubo also stated this on the sidelines of a visit to the Muslim community, or rather by the Muslim community to the governor of the state, Siminalayi Fubara, in Port Harcourt. Elsewhere, a former deputy governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, has declared his support for the opposition party, the All Progressive Congress, candidate on Monday in the upcoming September 21st governorship election in Edo State. According to the impeached deputy governor, Shaibu, the governorship race in Edo State started with 3 homeboys, according to himself, Okpebolo and Olumide Akpata of the Labour Party. Shaibu stated that since he had dropped his ambition, his preferred choice will come from the remaining participants in the election. He noted that Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has said everyone was free to choose who to support in any election, while adding that it was on that basis that his statement has come out to publicly support the APC governorship candidate in Edo State. Right, you're still watching the news on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, Katsina residents lament economic hardship, demand immediate solutions as Sallah Durbar enters day 2. More on this and many other stories up ahead after the break. Welcome back to the news. You're watching the news hour on Trust TV. Let's take another look at our top stories. Tension as Taskforce killed one person in Jos South local government area. Reactions trail presidency's response to New York Times report. Now, economic hardship occasioned by fuel subsidy removal, uncontrolled inflation, coupled with insecurity bedeviling parts of the country have impacted negatively on the well-being of many residents in Katsina State, especially during this year's Eid celebration. As a result, many residents were unable to afford new clothes, Salah meals and sacrificial animals, or even attend the annual Durbar organized by the Katsina and Daura Emirates. Here's Abdullahi Himadi with more on this story.
It has been a long-standing tradition for sons and daughters of Katsina from within and outside the state to witness the annual Salah Dubars at least twice in a year. This long tradition, which is gradually fading, enables families and friends to meet and discuss common and contemporary challenges as they affect them and the society with a view to providing solutions. However, the economic downturn in the country is gradually forcing them to shun social gatherings as well as some of their basic needs due to lack. In spite of all this, some people trooped out to the major routes leading to and from the old government house Katsina venue for the annual Hawan Sarki. The Emir Abdulmumin Kabir Usman and his entourage, adorned in traditional regalia, moved to the venue as early as 7 a.m., accompanied by singers, dancers, palace guards, hunters, entertainers, and other performers. While exchanging pleasantries with the deputy governor, the Emir Abdulmumin Kabir Usman urged residents to shun envy, enmity, hatred, and also called for togetherness and love for one another in order to help reduce the scourge of banditry in Katsina State. My responsibility as the Emir is to guide you on issues as they affect our daily lives. Now that the economy is biting hard, the government and wealthy individuals need to support others because the situation is very critical and getting out of control. However, I believe there is a solution to every problem. The deputy governor, in his response, said the state government is making concerted efforts to tackle insecurity, address issues in the agricultural value chain to boost food production.
duk inda aka san wani sansani ne na ta'adda muka tabbatar da an yi clearing nasu.
The Decorator's administration is restoring peace at the frontline local governments and other areas, so I urge residents to exercise patience. Our administration is working hard to rejuvenate agriculture and also empowering women and children. We have been providing incentives to many residents who are desirous of development. Public commentators are meanwhile suggesting the prompt implementation of a living wage for workers, food importation, and a reduction in inflation to rescue Nigerians from hunger and starvation. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
To Kwara State now, where residents in Ilorin, the state capital, see the Eid celebration as an opportunity for quality family time and making an opportunity to catch up with their kids. Now, they spoke with Trust TV's Sagir Ibrahim, who was at the Diamond Amusement Park in Ilorin to experience the fanfare as well as the celebration from this year's Eid al-Kabir. Take a look.
Where is the lady?
Eid al-Kabir is a day set aside for the remembrance of the sacrifice of Prophet Ibrahim. However, the day after, some would say it's a day set for kids. And that's why we're at the Diamond Amusement Park here in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to observe the fanfare a day after the Eid al-Kabir celebrations. Stay with us.
I'm here to celebrate the Kabir with my family so that I can make them happy, so that it will be a remembrance day for them.
So is this how it usually is every year? The crowd, the number?
Even today, the crowd was not even like the way it used to be. For example, in last festival, which was in the victory, the crowd here was so much. And although the cost of living is very high, and it's not easy for common man to survive. But nevertheless, whatever we have, we like to make our children and our family happy.
It's fun, isn't it? But there's more.
We are here to celebrate Salah. And today being the second day of Salah, and the children are on holiday, so we feel it's their right to come out and enjoy themselves before they go back to school. You know, it's not something they do every day. So once in a while like this, it's good to go out, enjoy yourself, free yourselves from stress. That's just why we are here.
Well, there you have it. It's a time to free yourself from stress, but most importantly, a time to make the kids happy. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Joseph.
Your name is Joseph. How's the Salah celebration?
I don't know.
But are you having fun?
Yes.
Last the camera and say hi to the camera.
Hi.
Why are you here today?
I'm here today because to have fun with my friend, with my sisters, and with my baby girl. So, alhamdulillah, I'm here today. So, I also come here to thank God for my life today. I'm so happy and so alive.
Hey! This is honestly too much fun. Back to the interview.
I brought my kids to come and enjoy themselves, and you know, this is a lifetime experience, and it's once in a while. It's not something you come every day. So even if it's for me to save for them to be here to make them happy, I think it's something worth doing. So, and I feel excited bringing them here because there are many people out there that don't have the opportunity to be here. But for me to be here with my kids, it's something I have to be happy about, and they too, I believe they are happy about it.
And then we have one coming out. Hi, what's your name?
Abdurrashid Aisha.
Aisha, are you having fun?
Yes.
Where are your parents?
Huh?
Where are your parents? Hi, say hi to your parents.
Hi.
And there you have it, another happy kid.
You know, this is the Eid al-Kabir, the largest festival for our Muslims. So, and what we call it Eid. Eid is something that just make your people around you, let them feel among, let them feel alive, and then let them feel happy. Because at times, if you just keep the children at home, giving them food only, in fact, it can cause a lot of damage for them because they are not exercising themselves. But me assuming now maybe by the time now you give them food now, let them exercise their body too, so that you will not end up in the hospital. Because the money we spend here now is so lesser than the money that we spend at hospital. Now they are very happy now. Even though if there's somebody among them that if FIFA before I left home, now it's already now everything disappear.
The cost of living is something to talk about. The cost of commodities in the market is also something to talk about. However, one thing that all of the respondents bear in common is the fact that children comes first, and nothing is too much to make them happy. From the Diamond Amusement Park here in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, Sagir Ibrahim for Trust TV News. And now back to the fun.
Safe to say the boy in Sagir Ibrahim really enjoyed putting that report together. Well, in other news, the National Information Technology Development Agency says school curriculum in Nigeria is outdated and needs an urgent and comprehensive review. The Director General of NIDA, Kafisu Inua Abdullahi, stated this during a meeting with the management team of the Nigeria Educational Research and Development Council, led by its Executive Secretary Junaid Ismail at NIDA's corporate headquarters in Abuja. According to a statement by NIDA, Abdullahi emphasized the urgent need to work together to review the existing school curriculum and develop a comprehensive curriculum that incorporates digital skills at educational levels. He also says that this is in line with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to create millions of jobs by leveraging digital technologies and achieving a digital literacy rate of 70% by 2027. Elsewhere, the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeni, has revealed that drug barons are increasingly recruiting customs officers as well as officials of bonded terminals into the drug trafficking operations to evade security checks. Adeni disclosed that the NCS had made significant progress in identifying such corrupt elements within its ranks who facilitated the movement of drug consignments without proper examination. Speaking at an event showcasing a major drug seizure at the Tinkan port, Adeni emphasized that those involved would face several legal consequences. During the weekend, the custom boss displayed approximately 4.2 billion naira worth of seized Indian hemp, highlighting that the Nigeria Customs Service is intensifying its scrutiny on the activities of, quote, unscrupulous custom officers to eliminate them from the system, noting that some indicted officers were found to be collaborating with bonded terminal operators to expedite the clearance of drug shipments. He also acknowledged the collaborative efforts of sister agencies, particularly the Nigeria Drug Law Enforcement Agency, in combating drug trafficking in Nigeria. The Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, has revealed plans by the United Arab Emirates to lift the visa ban imposed on Nigerian travelers in due time. Keyamo, in a State House interview, noted that a resolution has been reached between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan during Tinubu's visit to the UAE in September last year. According to the aviation minister, although the UAE had initially listed additional processes to be met before the ban could be officially lifted, the Nigerian government has since completed all processes, paving the way for an imminent announcement from the UAE government. Keyamo SAN further mentioned that he is aware of the specific date when the travel restriction will be lifted, but emphasized that it is up to the UAE government to make the official announcement. The lifting of the ban is expected to restore ease of travel for Nigerian citizens to the UAE, thereby enhancing bilateral relations and cooperation between the two countries. You're still watching the News Hour on Trust TV. We'll be back in just a moment with more news stories. Join us again. Welcome back to the news. Now, tax revenue from manufacturers have dropped significantly by 70.24% quarter-on-quarter to 43.2 billion naira in the first quarter of this year from 145.1 billion naira recorded in the previous quarter. Now, this is an apparent reflection of the harsh operating environment for the manufacturing sector in Nigeria over the past year, caused by fuel subsidy removal, naira devaluation, and an increase in electricity tariff. Now, this is contained in the Company Income Tax First Quarter of 2024 report by the National Bureau of Statistics on tax revenue from both local and foreign manufacturing companies in Nigeria. The report also indicated a decline of 31.4% year-on-year tax payments by the manufacturers compared with 62.9 billion naira recorded in the first quarter of 2023. Now, the company income tax, also known as corporate tax, is a levy imposed by the government on the income of a company. The rate is hinged on 0% for companies with gross turnover of 25 million naira or less, 20% for companies with gross turnover greater than 25 million naira and less than 100 million naira, and 30% for large companies above 100 million naira. The federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with Afrexim Bank to establish a $3 billion Nigeria industrialization financing facility for an industrial park and light manufacturing. The deal is expected to lead to the creation of special economic, industrial and agro-processing zones across the country and help create 20,000 jobs. Minister of Trade, Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Udoka Anite, signed on behalf of the federal government on the sidelines of the ongoing Afrexim annual meeting of 2024 in Nassau, in the Bahamas. Specifically, the intervention is to support the development of an automotive sector as well as the compressed natural gas value chain to better enable the automotive and transport sector in Nigeria. The package will also cover the technical and financial support for the Diaspora Investment Fund framework. Muslim pilgrims used the early hours of Monday to perform the second day of the symbolic stoning of the devil as noontime summer heat caused heat stroke among thousands wrapping up the Hajj pilgrimage. The final days of the Hajj coincides with the Muslims around the world celebrating Eid al-Adha holiday. The stoning of the pillars representing the devil takes place in Mina, a desert plain just outside the city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. A third stoning is scheduled for Tuesday before the farewell tawaf or circling of the cube-shaped Kaaba in Mecca. Now, the Hajj pilgrimage is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. All Muslims are required to make the 5-day Hajj at least once in their lifetime if they are physically and financially able to do so. More than 1.8 million Muslims performed this year's Hajj exercise, slightly less than last year's figure of 1.84 million according to Saudi officials. In other international developments, Senegal has officially joined the ranks of oil producing countries in West Africa, achieving its first official production last week. The Sangoma Deep Water Project aims to produce 100,000 barrels per day. This project includes a stand-alone floating production storage and offloading facility with a capacity of 100,000 barrels per day and subsea infrastructure for subsequent development phases. Australian energy giant Woodside, which is involved in the project, highlighted the significance of this milestone. President Basiru Diomaye Faye assured the nation that profits from the oil and gas would be well managed, mentioned the establishment of an intergenerational fund for future generations. Tiano Ly, General Manager of the National, the General Manager of the national oil company Petrosen, expressed optimism about the opportunities for growth and development with this new initiative. Now, the move to begin oil production is expected to generate billions of dollars for Senegal and significantly boost its economy. However, the government's decision to renegotiate oil and gas contracts has raised some concerns among investors. Prime Minister Ousmane Sanko justified the renegotiation, stating that previous contracts were unfavorable to the country and that the current administration had promised to address this issue. As Senegal embarks on this new chapter, the government says it remains committed to ensuring that the nation benefits fully from its natural resources. 8 people have died and dozens others were injured in Zimbabwe when a bus carrying churchgoers caught on fire on its way back from an annual gathering. The bus, according to police sources, was carrying dozens of Anglican pilgrims when the blaze occurred, causing 8 persons to be burned beyond recognition. Now, more than 50 people were injured, with 14 others hospitalized. The churchgoers were driving back to Manicaland province after attending the Bernard Mizeki annual festival in Marondera, a small town near Harare. The meeting is attended by more than 20,000 congregants from all parts of the world. Elsewhere, a 63-year-old Missouri woman, Sandra Sandy Haim, who was imprisoned for more than 40 years for murder, has had her conviction overturned after spending 43 years in prison for a murder she did not commit. According to The Guardian on Sunday, Haim was convicted back in 1985 based on her incriminating statements made while she was a psychiatric patient. However, a judge has now ruled that there is, quote, clear and convincing evidence that she was innocent of the crime. Haim, who is now 63, was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment back in 1980 for the murder, in 1980 of a library worker, Patricia Jeske, in St. Joseph, Missouri, after Haim made statements to the police incriminating herself while she was a psychiatric patient. Livingston County Circuit Judge Ryan Hossman on Friday ruled that, quote, evidence directly ties the murder of Jeske to a local police officer who later went to prison for another crime and has since died. The judge says that Haim, who has spent the last 43 years of her life behind bars, must be freed within 30 days unless prosecutors decide to retry her. The judge's decision follows a January hearing where Haim's legal team presented evidence linking the murder to Michael Holman, a former local police officer who has since passed away. Haim's conviction was the longest known wrongful conviction of a woman in U.S. history. Talking sports now, Favour Ofili has emerged as Nigeria's new 100 meters champion and automatic qualifier for the Paris Games after winning the Olympic trials in Benin to become the fastest woman in the country. Ofili made a triumphant return on home soil by winning the women's 100 meters national title at the Nigeria Olympic trials, as her time also surpassed the Paris Olympics qualifying standard. She came to the trials not just as the favorite to win, but most importantly, with another chance of hitting the Paris Olympic qualifying 100 meters standard. The talented speedster began her chase with a statement victory and season best of 11.17 seconds in the semi-finals, the fastest overall time. Less than 2 hours later, and in the absence of her fierce rival, Rosemary Chukwuma, in the final, Ofili had just one goal in her mind: to secure Olympic ticket and win her first ever national senior title. She did both astonishingly by blazing to an impressive new personal record of 11.06 seconds, a time good enough, or rather a time good enough to automatically surpass the Olympic qualifying standard of 11.10 seconds. Well, that is it on the news hour for tonight. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Do well to follow us across our social media platforms to catch up with more of our contents. Also visit our website at trusttv.com for the latest news and documentaries. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. For myself and the rest of the team, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you soon.